Hello and welcome to another Improve Your Grade 1% way. This is a series of videos looking at the 17 competencies in order to help you improve your grade, either the Part 3 or the standards check, or just improve your teaching, just little steps at a time. As I said on the others, you can't really go from a 31 to a 51 overnight. You need to work 31 to 33, 33 to 35 and so on. So each one of these videos look at a separate element of the 17 competencies, and I'm going to talk your way through this one. And this one's today we're looking at, was the teaching style suited to the pupil's style and the current ability? Okay, quite a fairly simple one, but let's analyse it first of all. Now the first place to start really is to analyse the actual question, the competency that the DVSA look at and say, was the teaching style suited to the pupil's style and current ability? Well, there's two things in there. Was the teaching style suited to the pupil's style? Was the teaching style suited to the pupil's style? And was the teaching style suited to the pupil's current ability? So they're two real different things. I'm going to look at these one by one. So basically there's many ways to teach pupils. Unfortunately, a lot of instructors seem to have a one-size-fits-all, and that could be stemming from if you did the Part 3 test using role play or using the preset test, where the belief is that you do a 8-minute briefing, then you do some guided and prompted and independent practice. But of course today, we're looking at lots of different styles. We're looking at the coaching methods. We're looking at the pupil taking more responsibility. And that's not really for discussion here. That's in one of my many other videos, etc. But it is about using different ways, and it's matching that way to suit the pupil. Now, if you're not really sure and, things aren't really happening for your pupil, then just change, try doing things like offering them a chance to actually have a go at doing it, or ask them how they would prefer to teach it, to find out about ways that they learn other lessons, what their favourite methods of learning are, and then we can fit them all in. The problem is with a one-size-fits-all method, it will suit about 25% of your pupils, maybe a few more only. I say if something's not working, try something else, try another way of doing it. And if you've got pupils that are more auditory, then yes, they like to listen to you. But if they're not, if they're more kinesthetic, they like to get on and do it. A lot of people like to just do it by trial and error, by just trying to work it out. And each time you're guiding them what could have been better, what risks, what dangers, etc. So it's finding out that style that suits the pupil, the current pupil. And that's going to be different for the next pupil. So now about suited to the current ability. Do they need more help? Do they need less help? Were the task demands too much or too little for the pupils, as I say here? You see this quite a lot. You see a pupil who has almost been rushed through their lessons. They're on a meeting traffic situation, and you're looking at it and you're thinking, we got a meeting traffic today here, and that pupil can barely use the clutch properly. The pupil still hasn't got basic clutch control. So you've got to ask yourself, what is this pupil being taught how to do meeting traffic or junctions or things when they haven't got basic clutch control? And that's probably the more common we see. You see errors in the beginning of the driving, which have not really been fully cemented into place. Now, you may think that after a while they will get them, but unfortunately they're still bugging that pupil. That pupil is still in their mind. They're still worrying about moving off from a junction. If you've got a pupil who's worried about stalling, worried about their moving off and stopping, etc., because it doesn't always happen, the worst place you want them is at a give-way junction, waiting to pull out into traffic, because they're going to be really, really nervous. One of the times that the clutch control really shows itself up as being weak is the first time you start to do traffic lights with them, and all of a sudden a pupil who's maybe never stalling before suddenly starts to stall. Yes, when there's a queue of 20 cars behind them and somebody behind who's a bit horn happy. But equally so, you know, the other way it works as well. If your pupil is really coping with the subject and they've learnt it all well, and it's all been happening, you know, maybe you need to step them up and give them more material or do other things with them. I've sat in the back quite a lot, and I've certainly heard examiners see it. They've seen a standards check or part 3 check where, to be honest, the goal was accomplished in the first 10 minutes, and the pupil, the instructor, sorry, keeps on working around the goal when really it was achieved, and they could have moved on by giving either the task man, giving them something harder to do, or even, you know, move on to the next subject in line. But if your pupil's struggling, probably some sort of task demand problem. Yeah. Think about yourself. You know, if you're finding it difficult, as your pupil has learnt the stuff, you know, you planned. If you're finding it difficult, you covered it, and you're thinking, what do I talk now? What do I do now? You need to be moving on, and that's really in your planning. Really, in your planning of the lesson, consider where will you go if the pupil is struggling, and what would you do if the pupil does well? That pupil suddenly surprises you. What would you be doing there? And keep that in your plan. And really, it's really just a simple way of finding a method that works for each pupil, really. That's all it is. You're looking for each pupil. During the coming weeks, this is what your homework really is to look at different methods that you teach different pupils and just try swapping different methods around, trying different things. Keep within the highway code driving essential skills, obviously, but try different methods. Just try letting pupils have a go sometimes, or you know, don't necessarily deliver a briefing and just do it on the move, or try different ways. But above all, ask the pupils, how do they learn? What's their favourite subjects? How do they like to learn in classes? And you'll be surprised at what happens there. Okay, really that ends the main content of this, but I just want to open an invitation to anybody. If you want to, we do a free Wednesday Zoom calls nearly every evening, which is really for people to come and talk about any questions they've got. Really, it's open, there's no pressure, and basically people bring questions, and I and some of the other trainers will try to answer the questions. Sometimes we open it up to the floor for other people who have suggestions, etc. And if you're looking to come along to one of them, okay, very simply, all you need to do is email Jess, just email her info@DTE-Elite.co.uk, or contact her through the Facebook group, the DTE-Elite Facebook group. She'll give you a link, and along you can come. 8 o'clock Wednesdays, I'll be there, and some other trainers, and it's a great way to catch up and get some advice and ask questions face to face, and I promise you nobody bites. Thank you very much. Enjoy a really great week teaching, and I'll speak to you all soon. See you the next time. Bye bye.